Co-investing. This is an area where, we could talk about this for a full day workshop because it goes so deep, but there are expert attorneys that just work on co-investment fund structures and deal structures all day, every day with their clients. And it's a trend because people want to invest directly instead of through a fund as much as they can. It used to be that the largest funds would only say to their institutional clients, we'll give you co-investment rights, but only if you invest 10 million or more in our fund, then you can co-invest directly into deals and put up to 25 million of additional capital into deals. Now, even the largest groups like Apax managing, 30 or $50 billion plus, et cetera, are sometimes offering co-investments directly even before someone's invested in a fund, just to attract more capital and get more deals done. And it was to evolve the terms of how they make money off that versus forcing people to come into a fund if they don't really want to. They might want to pick things deal by deal. And the reason why this is a trend is that private investors of all sizes typically would rather pick a deal based on where it is and the mechanics of the deal and really understanding it, having that transparency, saying, yes, I like that deal and invest in that rather than invest in a fund and say, we promise we're going to choose to get assets for this fund. Maybe 2 of them are decided on, but 8 of them are not yet. And then you have to kind of trust that they're going to based on their track record. And so you just get more deals done faster, typically going direct than through a fund, unless there's a big relationship or really big credibility already there. If somebody manages $1 billion, $3 billion, $5 billion, and they have a fund, it's going to be much easier for them to raise capital than someone that doesn't manage any money yet. And we know multiple people that have 300 and 500 million of assets under management, and they have struggled the last 2 years to raise even a $10 million fund. And one of them said, should we go out and do another fund next year? And they're asking me for advice. And I said, why would you do that? You grew up 300 million in AUM in just 4 years. Then you struggled to raise 10 million for the fund. So some people raise funds and more power to them. It's harder to do all else equal though. And I've just found that the people who invest in the fund are typically the people who already invested in the direct deals and built up that trust. They'll come into the fund, but the brand new leads are typically like, let's wait and see. We want to get to know you first. It's your first fund. And they come in through the direct deals first. So that's just important to know. These are different deal considerations when you're doing a co-investment. I'm not going to read all these off to you, but just things to look at in case you negotiate these, you're thinking of offering co-investments. These are all different things that can be negotiated, communicated during that process. We talk about all of this within our book, The Single Family Office. For a co-investment, it could just be co-investment rights that are granted when somebody invests in the fund. So you could say for every $1 million you put in, you can invest another $100,000 just into your favorite deal of the 10 in the fund. Maybe you invest in 10 tech companies and somebody puts in $5 million. Now they're allowed to put in an extra $500,000 in their favorite tech company of those 10. So it gives them a little bit of flavor of being direct and overemphasizing what they believe in most and what you're doing. So you can get creative with it to try to structure something where if you know your target investor type, that they're going to find it very appealing. But also if you're a private investor listening to this and you can negotiate deals where you say, okay, well, what's your largest investor? 800,000. I'll be your largest investor at $1 million, but I want these co-investment rights, or I want to be a co-GP, or I want first access to your next deal, et cetera. And you can negotiate those types of terms if you know this type of stuff exists. If you don't know, then it's hard to know that's even on the table or possible, right?